This video is dedicated to Anakin Starkiller. Halliwax basement builds was never a plan. This all just evolved. And this evolution started way back in 2015 when Anakin Starkiller did his first run of V2s. Because of this run, I've been able to meet some incredible people, experience once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, and most importantly, made some priceless friendships. So I dedicate this video to him. With this being a video dedicated to Anakin Starkiller, I decided to try and replicate his real parts Obi-Wan. So I took my Tunisia version and I converted it over. As you can see in the previous footage, we machined the wind vane 2 millimeters shorter. TXQ's threading on the wind vane doesn't go all the way up, so I 3D printed a little spacer that snaps in the wind vane and pushes down and sits on top of the thread, giving it the correct appearance in the Chronicles photo. We kicked the wind vane color down and then re-aged it to properly match what Anakin Starkiller has on his real grenade. Starkiller's got some remnants of black paint on his, so I tried to mimic that as best as I could, leaving some below and in these last 3 chunks. Then we threw some weathering product. The full tutorial on how to weather and simulate dust, dirt, and grime can be found on my Patreon account. Link in description below. I ended up photoshopping and tracing my own chrome tape. I tried this on my metal tape that I use on the V3s, and my Cricut didn't like doing that. So I went out and found this new chrome vinyl and then had my plot cutter cut it out. Courtesy of T-Cruise, he linked me to a thread on the RPF where a guy, and excuse me, I totally forgot his name. He photoshopped some logos on the transistors. So I printed a bunch out and I punched them out on transfer paper, and we transferred them on There's two different logos there. And then the booster we weathered up just like the grenade, and I made the cotter pins, or which we believe to be cotter pins coming out of the clamp. One special request from my buddy T Cruz was, he said, can you please mention the groove here in the neck? Thankfully, the way that this is machined, you don't see the groove, and T Cruz always mentions, you know, a lot of people forget that the groove is opposite of the clamp or behind the clamp, so you can't see the groove when you're looking at the bubble strip side. So, can you please mention that? So luckily enough, it fits the orientation that T Cruz was talking about. The emitter, I quickly machined a little spacer in there to give it the somewhat appearance of what you see on the Death Star when Obi-Wan goes to ignite it. On my Patreon channel, I made a D-ring by making a wood jig and showing them how I make my own D-rings. But I mold... That's my stomach. I'm so hungry. I ended up using my own vintage D-ring, which is fairly large, as a template. And even though I shrunk it down by 1 millimeter, it was still too big. The jig works in theory on the Patreon video. So what I ended up eventually doing, which I don't have on film, was growing a set and drilling this hole out to 2.9 millimeter and then installing a Solo's Hole D-ring. I think that's actually everything that I have done since the last Patreon video. Oh, we also took some acetone and lightened up the emitter. Like I said, this is a dedication video to Anakin Starkiller, because if it wasn't for him, none of this would have happened. So that's going to wrap things up. I want to thank you all for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video, and most importantly, be kind to one another. This is Halliwax, out.